Hello everyone, Kevin Holcomb here. I wanted to post this video, talk about what kind of projections we see coming into summer. I've been a mortgage loan originator and a mortgage branch processor for almost 9 years now. And I've helped hundreds, if not thousands of people purchase homes and refinance their homes. So here are some trends and some things that I've been seeing and kind of what we can project for summer of this year, 2022. So as it is already June, summer is upon us. I look at what kind of business we see coming in the pipeline with the branches that I work at. So I work primarily out of California and some of the surrounding states over there, even though I live in North Carolina. But I process mostly the mortgages that are over there. And California is an interesting market because it is usually pretty busy, even if other places around the US start to slow down. Because there are people that are always trying to move to California. They're always trying to get to the beaches, they're always trying to get to the mountains. There's always some other kind of market pressures that kind of move people around. So what usually happens around the springtime is we kind of start you see mortgages kind of slow down for a little bit coming out of winter into spring, and then they start to pick up around summertime. Summertime, the kids are out of school, they're on break. If you're gonna move, this is usually when people move. But what we've seen is I haven't seen much of an uptick in purchase money business coming through. And that's not the best indicator of how the rest of the summer is going to look, because usually around this time is where business is really starting to pick up. And I'm saying, a twofold or threefold amount of volume starts to come in of purchase volume of people buying houses. Now there are certain companies out there like CoreLogic, Bankrate, the other companies that kind of watch these sort of things, and their predictions are not as bad as I thought they would be, honestly, because of how much inflation is affecting everything and how interest rates have gone up, and that's affected a lot of people as well. But with CoreLogic and Bankrate, they've each said that the market is probably, with purchase prices, are probably still going to go up even a little bit more. They're estimating a little bit under 6% overall across the nation, so that's going to be different depending on where you're looking to buy, what specific area you're in, but they're saying an average across the country, that house prices are still probably going to rise all the way into next year. And also they're seeing about a 22% slower amount of listings and property and inventories coming onto the market that would usually start coming around April time and would already be coming out now. So we're seeing there's fewer properties out there to buy. We see purchase prices are still slated to kind of tick up a little bit as the year progresses. And now what I've seen is that I've seen interest rates have been on the uptick, but they've kind of slowed down recently. So they're still going up, but they're not going up as fast as they were, let's say, a month ago. So I am seeing more interest rates in like the 5%, the 6%, depending on what your situation is and what you're looking to do. If you're buying a condo as a second home, it's going to be a higher interest rate, or if you're buying just a regular stick-built house, it's going to be a different interest rate. But I'm seeing between 5 and 6% kind of everywhere. And I'm seeing the average cost of the rate people are willing to pay for is pretty high. I'm talking they're paying for that rate. They're buying it down. And if you don't know what that means, you can check any of my other videos. I'll probably put a link of it at the end of this one as to how interest rates work. But there's a cost associated with interest rates. Now, when interest rates are really low, people can pick rates that are still really good and they don't pay for them. They find what's called par. But when they're going up and they're ticking up, people start spending a lot more money just to keep that rate within kind of a manageable spot. And that's a trend that I've been seeing since kind of the beginning of this year. So that if that trend continues, that means it's going to be an extra cost to you as a buyer. When you go to buy a house, you're probably going to be spending could be thousands of dollars to keep your rate manageable, or to keep it down into a spot where you still qualify. So that's something to be aware of. Now, if you're looking, like I said, this year, it's 2022. If you're coming into the summertime, you're thinking, hey, my kids are out of school, if you have kids. This is the time I was looking to buy. Those are some things that you're going to have to take into account when you speak with a loan officer. You're going to have to go over those things of, hey, if I'm not buying right this second and I'm going to buy in 2 months from now, what do we need to do to make sure I'm still good 2 months from now? And so then you kind of have to project out, well, rates could be higher, the cost could be more. You're just trying not to purchase at your maximum at that point. If you're at your max and you're not looking to buy right that moment, you're gonna have to bring that purchase price down if you're gonna be looking out 2-3 months from now. So just things to be aware of. This market has been a very interesting one, and I think as more people might become interested in purchasing homes, you can follow the news, but I always find the news in general is kind of always a a day late and a dollar short. They're telling you stuff that's happened maybe a couple months ago, or they're looking at trends that you have to really analyze what numbers they're even looking at, to be honest. If you want to know what's really going on, talk to a loan officer, talk to a realtor that actually works in the area that you want to buy, and they'll tell you what they're seeing. And at least it'll be very localized. It'll be specific to where you want to be. It's not going to be like, well, how are house prices in Michigan going to affect house prices in North Carolina or in Texas? Like, those are all different markets. Like, in general, things are going to move up and down, but they're all very specific, and very specific to where in those specific areas. It's just something that you got to talk to people about. So don't be afraid to talk to people. If you want to get a good loan officer, if you want to get hooked up with somebody, you got to get a referral. Now, if you don't know anybody in an area you want to buy, let's say you're not looking to buy somewhere where you live right now, then you're going to have to do a little bit of research. You might have to reach out. You can look through Zillow. You can look through how agents and what they're ranked in a specific area. There's a lot of tools out there to at least get you some contact information to speak with somebody. If you know someone in the area, awesome. Did they buy? Do they own a home? Do they know someone who did? Can you speak with them and get hooked up with somebody that helped them, somebody that they know, like, and trust? Those are always going to be something I say. I don't say just go with a company because of the name of the company. Go with people because of relationships that they've built and they've put time and effort into, because that tells you their work ethic and if there's someone that you should work with or not. But coming into this season, just be mindful of these things that have come up. I'm going to do another video like this as we kind of get through summer, because that's going to really tell us what winter's going to look like and if winter's going to be a really good buying season or not. Inventory will really be what determines that. I don't think interest rates are going to mess with that as much as they will now. I think interest rates might actually mellow out a little bit around that time. But I think we could have a really good buying season that's late this year, depending on inventory. So I'll check back on that. If any of you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. We can get a dialogue going. Anything that's going on with you guys that you want to share with others that might be looking for this kind of content, something that might be helpful. Even if you worked with a realtor, if you worked with a loan officer, somebody that you recommend, give them a shout out. It can't hurt. Even if no one ever calls them, at least it's saying, hey, this person was trustworthy and they helped me in this area. Give them a call. Whatever it may be, just leave that info down below. And that's it for me. So you guys have a good one, and I'll see you again. Peace.